I am headed out to Ucluelet right now. I have a mushroom course that I signed up for with Rainforest Society. It was $350 for a 3-day course. You learn how to identify edible mushrooms and non-edible mushrooms, and then also learning how to forage. And there's a lot of in-depth information that I'm excited to share with you guys. We also go to a local restaurant that cooks us up some beautiful dishes with local forage mushrooms. And yeah, come along if you're interested. Hey, I'm Emily.
And I'm Matt.
You might have followed us while we were winter caretaking off-grid in Haida for 8 months, completely alone.
Now we're living on a different island in the Pacific West Coast of Canada, surrounded by rainforests and the ocean.
This is the start of a new chapter, and we're bringing you along for the ride. Let's see where this one takes us. The course started off at 7 p.m. out in Yuki at the community center. I just want to mention that this is not an educational video. This is a recap from my experience when I did the course, in hopes that if you're also interested in foraging, you should sign up for a course like this as well. And this is what you can expect out of this course. Just a little bit of a side note, I was actually really nervous about going to this event, especially since I haven't done anything really alone by myself without Matt for the longest time. So this was pretty huge for me, and I'm pretty proud of myself for going all the way out there by myself. I've always been super fascinated with mushrooms, and I've always wanted to go out and forage for them, especially edible ones, but I am not very confident with my ability to identify them, so I found this course, and this was the perfect course for me to be able to go out there and start doing it. So I am super excited to share with you guys this, and if you are in the same boat, I would highly recommend checking out this course. So tonight's presentation is discussing the fungi groups and the role of fungi ecosystem, and then also learning how to identify mushrooms before we head out into the forest tomorrow. So this course presentation is from 7 till 9 p.m. Our instructors for the weekend were Dr. Annie McKinnon and Shannon Birch.
These filaments that are microscopic, and you can't see them without a high-powered microscope. And they are everywhere in the soil and in wood. And if you look at a mushroom that's got gills, these plates on the undersurface that look like the gills of a fish, that's why they're called gills. Together about a decade ago. The dark green is the productive old growth forest, the lighter green is the less productive old growth forest. Yellow is logged and the pink is logged twice. So old growth forest is really important fungal habitat, and it continues to disappear from Vancouver Island.
Remember that hike through the mountain forest on Haida that we did above the lodge? Those were old growth forests. Not the massive valley giants like the ancient cedars and Douglas firs that the loggers chase. Most people don't think that these are old growth forests. They don't grow huge because of the conditions up there are tough, but they're just as old and sometimes even older, and also just as important. And these are some of the mushrooms that we found around the lodge. The middle one with the video is a red reishi, which is the first one I've ever found.
These researchers were they took soil cores from ecosystems around the globe. And I just wanted to direct your attention to here. This is ectomycorrhizal species diversity. Okay. This is temperate conifer forests. It's the second most diverse habitat for ectomycorrhizal fungi after only tropical conifer forests.
One of the coolest things about a conifer forest is how many different types of mushrooms grow here. It's dark, damp, and full of decaying wood and needles. All the fallen plant material breaks down slowly and gives the fungi plenty of food to feed on. A lot of mushrooms here also form special relationships with the trees. The fungi help the trees absorb water and nutrients, and in return, the trees feed the fungi sugars from photosynthesis. So that's why you'll find such a huge diversity of fungi under spruce, cedar, hemlock trees. Basically, these forests are a dream home for these mushrooms, damp, shady, and full of food. So when you're out in the forest, use this as a little bit of a cheat sheet to identify trees. And if you're around these trees, you'll find the mushrooms.
For daddy. Be a good girl. Be a good girl, you big baby.
Quick disclaimer, the mushrooms shown in this video may not be identified with 100% accuracy. Please do not use this video as a reference for foraging. I highly recommend taking a local mushroom identification course. It's the best way to stay safe and avoid picking something non-edible or potentially poisonous. I'm not responsible for any foraging decisions. This video is just for fun and show and tell.
Breaking down fairy wood.
I'll give all sorts of clues this afternoon, but we wanted to.
So I'll show you how to do that.
We're out just collecting some mushrooms so that we can identify them later. So stay tuned for what we find.
Not that red that you have there. We're getting some red staining. Okay, and these in the section compacte that stain red and then black. Okay. So I'm just going to scratch the stem and see if we get any more staining on it. But I think this would be a fun one to try and identify.
Because Ucluelet can turn into lobster mushrooms.
But
with a
not
certain
this one.
Not that one.
No?
Oh, okay. This is what a lobster mushroom looks like. Not all Ucluelet species turn into a lobster mushroom. Mainly Ucluelet brevivives can turn into lobster mushroom, and only if they're exposed to the specific spore or parasite. When the lobster fungus affects it, it completely transforms the host, changing its chemistry, texture, and flavor. The result is a safe, edible, and delicious mushroom, though on this foraging trip, we were not lucky enough to find any. So at this moment in time, while I'm going through the forest and I'm picking mushrooms, there's a lot of mushrooms that I don't even know. I have no idea what they're called. I don't know if they're poisonous or if they're edible. The whole point was just to collect as much as we could and bring it back to the community center so that we can identify as much as we possibly could. If you were wondering if it was safe to pick a non-edible mushroom just to examine and to identify it, we were told that it's absolutely fine, as long as you're not eating them. Most toxins don't absorb through the skin, but wash your hands afterwards to avoid any risk.
What you got?
I think I may have found a type of Amanita muscat.
Let's see. Have a look at the teeth on here. They're really quite elegant. Yeah, of course. This is one of the felodons. But I won't say which one because we want to identify them. Oh!
Before the course started, I went out hunting mushrooms and found what I was pretty sure was a porcini. It's a type of bolete mushroom. They're edible and prized for their rich, nutty flavor, but some boletes are bitter and or poisonous, so getting the proper ID is crucial. Look what I just found. I always find these guys.
That's right, yeah.
He's so pretty. I'll let you go, big boy. Don't worry about it. He had a little slug sticking out of his mouth. I got a little video, so I'll have to show you guys. It's pretty cool.
Oh my god.
Looks like a toad.
He's like, get that thing back in my mouth.
Oh, his little gulp.
While Em was at the mushroom course, I stayed back. Mushrooms are cool, but I had my own projects going on. Training Rosie to ring the bell by the door when she wants to go out of the bus.
Yeah, mushrooms sometimes do phallic really well. Cup at the end that's got a hole in the center of it. And it kind of is, oh, and icto. I don't think anybody was in any doubt about what it resembled. This is not that. This is another mushroom entirely, which I'll look at after we've got all our pictures here. What we've got going on here, it would be interesting to take it back to the classroom to look at it. This looks like a little russula that started out in life and then got stalled somehow.
Oh.
And that happens with mushrooms quite a bit. Maybe the most common cause is there was some moisture, it started growing and then it dried up and it stopped growing. And that's a really dangerous thing for mushrooms because they tend to get overtaken by other fungi. So all of this white here is mold fungi growing on a mushroom. So what is technically called fungus on fungus action. And you can feel in here, this is all rotten through here and is really just being held together by these the fungus that's growing over it. It's
so
pretty.
They're not very well organized.
They look very cute. After spending 3 hours foraging in the forest for mushrooms that we can bring back to identify, we headed back to the community center to divvy up and organize all of our mushrooms on a table so that we can identify them later. Oh yeah, you got a lot of winters. We were given this sheet to help us identify the mushrooms and to separate them into groups.
Okay, let me go. Thank you, Mom.
If you're wondering what a tooth mushroom looks like, it looks like this. So this is a hedgehog mushroom, and I found a couple of these bad boys. These are edible, and you can find them pretty much all over the West Coast. But always make sure you're verifying your mushrooms. And if you're wondering what a veined mushroom looks like, I refer to the chanterelle mushroom. And I'm sure you probably have seen a polypore mushroom growing on some living trees or dead trees. They're the ones that are pretty hard, solid like rocks. And most of them, or all of them, are not edible.
While Em was out identifying mushrooms, I went out for a surf and then came back to start work. And I got to bring Rosie along with me.
This is
It's not quite sweet enough. There's one hidden.
I like how when they say edibility, they say choice. Choice mushroom.
Is it? But this isn't a chanterelle.
No, it's a hedgehog, I think.
Yeah, it looks like even. What does it say about range? Is it here?
We were in small groups identifying mushrooms that we found earlier in the forest, and this one really caught our attention. At first we thought it was a truffle mushroom, but later on we realized it was actually just a rusula mushroom with a growth defect. You can see a small stem starting to form, and if you look closely with a magnifying glass, there are tiny gill-like structures. This mushroom would be really hard to identify when you're out in the forest. It's definitely not the one that I would just take home with me unless I was 100% sure. So a quick little description on a Ucluelet mushroom. Notice its thick stem, broad cap, and spongy pores underneath instead of gills. Colors can range from tan to brown and sometimes with hints of red or yellow. Around 4 p.m., we headed over to Heartwood Kitchen, which is a local restaurant in Ucluelet, BC, where they were going to make us some mushroom-themed dishes. So this isn't going to be a formal instruction on how to make all these dishes. This is just a show and tell. I would highly suggest signing up for this course, as they do end up going to the Heartwood Kitchen, it seems, every year, and they end up making some kind of a mushroom dish. So definitely go check it out.
And it doesn't really have any. I don't mind the textures of it. Nice. It's GFS brand. It's in the least sexy package. That's why I dumped it into here. Probably not the highest end arboreal that you can buy, but it probably shouldn't be good. So, what Chef Mason's going to do here? He's got one hand in the pocket. Too. Yeah. Look at this. He's like, he doesn't even need two hands. A little bit more oil. So we just want to. So we're just taking the edge off this. Lobster mushrooms. Like I said, they're not something we see a lot. So we butter braise these, and I just left them like this because I wanted to see the color of the butter after it was done. In crannies, I thought they could be really dirty, but they're firm, so they're easy to kind of scrub brush. That being said, there's still a lot of. That's sorry. I'm gonna tell you about it, but you don't get to eat it. I should probably try this before. So this is mushroom. You know, this is just like a really simple way when you're enjoying mushrooms to try to get in there. Someone want to volunteer? Maybe we can hand these out.
Something I thought that was really cool was that all the chanterelles or winter chanterelles that were not as fresh, he would dry them up and dehydrate them and create a powder and use them in the broth. It's a pretty quick and easy way to make a broth without wasting anything.
I think I probably even looked at it the day before to make sure that we find something to set it up. The magic of the paper. But I was talking and gabbing and we were watching. It's terrifying. I don't know if anybody's ever been confused.
This was my first time trying lobster mushroom, and it was honestly amazing. And the goat cheese that they put on top was just perfect. And I'm definitely going to try and see if I can steal this recipe and make it at home if I can snag or try and get my fingers on any lobster mushrooms.
Maybe not all of it. Really only about half cooked. And then we'll lay it on our trays, get it cold, and then we'll finish it to order. But it's not the same. Like when you, this is where the magic happens. Awesome. Okay, they're going in. Nice work. How long do you think those are going to be, Chef? What do you think?
After a long day of foraging and identifying mushrooms, we were drooling by the time all these dishes were made, and they were so good. I would highly recommend checking out Hardwood Kitchen. I know that me and Matt will be going there and checking out their menu for brunch or breakfast. I think that they only do those menus. I don't think they do dinner time. Even just thinking about it right now, I wish I was back there eating it. I'm definitely gonna see if I can get my fingers on the recipes.
Yeah. Not barely.
Get yourself a chef makes a bowl of that mushroom.
The next morning, we met around 8 o'clock to start foraging for the next 2 to 2.5 hours to find all the edible mushrooms that we possibly could. And I took those 2.5 hours pretty seriously, as I did not film anything while I was in the forest. But I found a good amount of chanterelles, which I was pretty stoked about. Our teachers told us that one of the previous students from a couple years ago got lost in the forest, and they had to send a search and rescue team. And they told us to not get lost. But I definitely found myself at least 3 times lost, and I couldn't hear anybody, I couldn't see anybody. And I tried not to panic, and then ended up finding my way out, of course, but still, definitely be cautious when you go into the forest and you're foraging. You can get lost so easily, especially when you're looking down at the ground for mushrooms.
It's fine. They're not super flavorful, but they have a tendency to be really slimy. Yeah.
Basket?
Absolutely.
So cool, all the gold.
I didn't eat them myself, but I know people do. This one has been attacked by a mold. So this is not the normal colors. The normal colors of the stem would be white, and of the cap would be white, gray, black. And usually they're super abundant, and they were all the ones, the 6 I saw back there were all already attacked by the parasite. But I do want to cut the stem because
We will.
Come in.
Something that I found helpful when foraging for chanterelles is that they peel like cheese string. So if you've ever peeled cheese string as a kid, it's kind of like that. And also the center of it is white, kind of like chicken. At least the texture is like chicken. I hope you enjoyed this video, and maybe it inspired you to take a similar course. Let me know. And if you're in the area and you want to forage, reach out to me. On next week's episode, we had to figure out what we were going to do with Rosie as we kept finding tapeworms in her stool. And we were running out of natural options. It doesn't really seem to be working. So then we found ourselves at the vet again. Matt's been working on a couple van projects, and the storm season has just begun.
Big old fat brain.
We both checked out another foraging course in town, and I started foraging.